Do you see criticism as negative? As athletes and competitors, you never want to fail at anything, and because of this, criticism is often avoided. However, there are some valuable lessons and opportunities that can come from constructive criticism. In fact, early criticism is necessary for future success. To grow as an athlete, it is essential to determine which messages or critiques are beneficial and which criticisms are unproductive. Too often, the message gets thrown out with the messenger due to the tone and delivery of the feedback. Unfortunately, you have no control over how someone gives you feedback. So today, I'm going to explain why some athletes are afraid of constructive criticism, what distinguishes athletes who can handle criticism versus those who struggle with it, and I'm going to outline what 3 questions athletes should ask themselves when they receive criticism. Also, as a bonus, I'm going to provide strategies for receiving criticism more appropriately. So let me get right to it. First piece, why are athletes afraid of constructive criticism? Well, athletes are afraid for several reasons. One, they feel that they're being judged negatively. Another is that they can sometimes perceive that the criticism confirms some type of self-doubt that they have about themselves, and that just reinforces that doubt. Athletes tend to have perfectionist standards. They fear they're letting other people down. They're given feedback in an aggressive or disapproving tone. Most of us don't respond when people feel, we feel that we're verbally attacked, whether we are or not. We don't like negativity. So what distinguishes athletes who can handle criticism versus those who struggle with it? Well, some athletes see the criticism as a list of everything they do wrong. So in these instances, they dismiss or ignore the feedback. Other athletes view criticism as constructive. They see it as advice about how to improve their game or performance. Accepting and using feedback is actually a critical mental skill for athletes. When athletes develop this skill, they won't feel attacked when coaches or skilled professionals give them feedback. It will feel more like a suggestion about improving their performance. Now, criticism can feel like an attack, but often athletes can find a message in it and disregard the negative tone that can often be associated with that message of critique. So what are 3 questions athletes should ask themselves when they receive this criticism? 1, what is the main message? What is that person trying to tell me? 2nd, is this feedback useful for me? It may or may not be. 3rd, how does this message help me? And I'm going to add another one. How can I apply this feedback in practice or my prep to improve my performance? So after receiving criticism from, let's say, your coach or other respected sports professionals, athletes should communicate with that person who's giving them that feedback. They should ask for clarification about that message if they're confused. They should also challenge their defensiveness, trying to understand why they don't like receiving that particular feedback. Is it hitting a nerve? That might require some self-reflection and examination. And focus on the message itself, not how the message was delivered. That's really key, because the message is more important than the delivery. Again, ask yourselves how you can apply it to your game and what you're going to do about it to resolve that issue. Now, strategies for receiving criticism. Identify the right people to receive feedback from. This should be from people who are honest, impartial, and they want to see you improve. Now, this could be, let's say in the workplace, let's say a coworker, a mentor, or even an old coach, again, that's respected, is a good start. Also, ask specific questions. So if you're not specific, you're going to get some general vague answers. Ask the tough the tough questions, such as, how can I improve, let's say, my posing when it comes to bodybuilding? Listen is another important strategy. It's easy to become defensive and begin to dispute the feedback. Sit back, listen, and simply take it in. The more points of view, the better, as it may help identify a recurring theme. Ask clarifying questions. So try to understand first and then process the feedback. This will help reduce the potential of becoming defensive when you hear the feedback. Ask for suggestions to improve, but always refer back to your goals. Ask for suggestions, but make sure they align with your goals. Implement and execute your action plan. So once you've created your plan, put your words to action. It's one thing to recognize what some of your weaker points are, but if you don't do anything about it, you're not going to improve yourself as an athlete. Now, is it possible that you might get feedback that is not really helpful, which is not coming from someone who really knows what they're talking about in this area? Absolutely. We see it all the time, especially on social media. Now, what I would recommend is listen anyway, but ask yourself this: is there some validity to their comments? There may or may not be, but if there is, you might use that as a learning opportunity of doing something about it. So basically ignore the noise and how they're presenting it and see, is there anything that could be, like I said, valid in that critique. Also, keep in mind that not everyone is skilled in providing objective feedback. And sometimes criticism is just criticism. To level up as an athlete, you need to become skilled in objectively sifting through feedback and finding the messages that will produce positive results and feelings. Maintain that motivation and stable confidence. Remember, you cannot control who delivers the message or how it was delivered. However, you can control how you receive the message and what you do with the feedback once it is received. If you've learned something from this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment below of what resonated with you. I also have another video I want you to watch. It's called How to Develop Stable Confidence. And if you've not subscribed to the channel, please do so. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, please comment below. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, everybody. Take care and remember to keep your mental game on.